So a few months ago, I watched a video by Dr. K called How You Keep Yourself Suffering, which at the time, and even till this point, it still resonates with me because of the topics that he discusses in this video. And he talks about how sometimes, like when you are trying to be successful in life, we tend to put ourselves in this state of mind where I guess the thing that we are trying to chase is basically what causes us, for lack of a better word, I think I can say anguish, and it causes us too much stress. And he also relates that to something called high functioning depression, which I am one person who doesn't like diagnosing myself with things that I don't understand unless if like I'm actually diagnosed by a medical professional. I found myself relating to the symptoms of the things that he was talking about. But this video, the reason why I bring it up is because I left a comment on this video which it resonated with a lot of people, and yeah, I'm going to get into that comment later on, but for now I just want to react to maybe a few minutes of this video, and then I'll get into what exactly that comment was. So yeah.
Oh my God, it's hard for me every day. Nothing is really going well. And I'm going to just keep persevering, keep persevering, keep persevering. It turns out that perseverance is literally the problem. This is where the whole light at the end of the tunnel things. Oh, if I keep on making sacrifices, eventually I'll be happy. But I don't know if this makes sense. Each step you're taking is making you more unhappy. You're not depressed because your brain is busted. You're depressed because your brain is accurately assessing this life that you have created.
So it's funny that he says this, and I know he hasn't reached this point yet, but he does mention that the funny thing about this whole thing about being persevering when you are striving to do something in life is that ironically the method works, which is kind of weird because it's the one thing that is actually causing you all these problems with your mental health, but somehow in the end it works out. So yeah, I recommend you check out this video, but yeah, let's get back into it.
You can stay up till 2 a.m. Wake up at 6, be in debt, broke, alone, and still have faith that one day everything will work out. It's called being a man. The thing is, it doesn't have to be that way. There are other ways to do it. You can actually work a lot and be pretty happy. And I see this kind of attitude in something that we call high-functioning depression. So high-functioning depression, and it's not necessarily that everyone this way has high-functioning depression, but I think the research on high-functioning depression is really helpful here. So high-functioning depression is when you are able to maintain your day-to-day obligations. So you actually don't have a functional impairment. Most of the time when we think about people who are depressed, we think about people who can't get out of bed, people who have low energy levels, people who can't do what they are supposed to do despite feeling terrible. And what is this showing us? This is showing us feeling terrible, but still being powerful, strong, manly. And if you're someone who kind of falls into this sort of existence of oh my God, it's hard for me every day. Nothing is really going well. And I'm going to just keep persevering, keep persevering, keep persevering. It turns out that perseverance is literally the problem.
Okay, so yeah, he did mention it, like I said, and yeah, one thing that he mentioned is that most people with normal depression, they don't tend to do much. They just sit and wallow in that depression, and you can even tell oh, okay, so this person might be going through a depression. Whereas someone with high functioning depression, they are functional in society and they get to do things in their day to day. So you can't even tell that they're going through a depression. And it's something that, again, I'm not saying I'm depressed or I was depressed, but when he talks about the symptoms of high functioning depression, I found myself relating to those things or those symptoms. And the weird thing about it is, maybe not the weird thing, but I guess I could say a dangerous thing about it is that even the people around you, they don't even see that you're going through this. And sometimes I feel maybe for people who have actual depression, the one thing thing that helps them get out of that is that maybe sometimes people around them can notice like, oh, okay, so maybe this person is going through something. Let's maybe try and talk to him or see if there is anything that we can do to help. Whereas when you have high functioning depression, or when you're going through what I was going through, you're just going through a lot and you have no one to talk to about it because everyone just assumes that you're doing fine. But yeah, I mean, I think he's going to get into that again, like I said, later on in the video. So yeah, let's just get back into it.
Crazy. So, another possible explanation involves sublimation, as a high-functioning individual may channel the unacceptable urge to quit college, graduate school, or medical school into productive outlets that lead to the attainment of an upper-level degree. Okay? What is this saying? See, if you're someone who prides yourself on the punishment, it's hard. This is what happens with men. And not just men, but people with HFD, but happens a lot with men. You're in a particular situation where you feel not good about it. You don't want to continue. You don't want to quit. You don't want to give up. And what do? You double down. You are not going to be the person who quits. You are not going to be the person who is weak. You are not going to be the person who washes out. In fact, you are going to do the opposite. You are going to take this negative weakness, footing, weak ass, beta level and
so, yeah, I mean, like I said, I was going through this a few months ago and I still am, by the way. And the whole thing of like not wanting to quit, in my last video about toxic parents, I talked about how I am an artist, but I was very brief about that. And this is something where it's like, I went to graphic design school for, actually like it was more of like a media institution where they teach things that are media related, from graphic design, animation, and things of that nature. And I remember there was a point where I was kind of feeling, I don't know if unfulfilled is the correct word to use in this situation, but it caused me a lot of like, yeah, whatever that feeling was, for lack of a better word. And at the time, I felt like maybe graphic design isn't worth it at this point. And I also remember that it was around that time my grandmother had just passed away at that point. And I felt a lot of guilt because I was like, if I were to quit this course now, this graphic design course, or if I were to drop out, plus I was nearing the end of the course and I was like, if I just stop now, there's a lot of people that I'd be letting down, especially my grandmother. And I just kept going, but then I was, for lack of a better word, half-assing my efforts when it came to my assignments and everything else. Which honestly, if you were to tell me that a lot of those assignments that I was doing towards the end I had failed, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Matter of fact, I'd be more surprised if you told me that, wow, you actually passed. But yeah, let's hear what else Dr. K has to say.
You are going to sublimate it into productive outlets that lead to the attainment of an upper level degree. Not only are you not going to quit, you're going to go higher. You're going to succeed. You're going to be the best. And that's how we get here, right? That's how we get to these situations where, like, we're going to go hard. We're going to do better. We're going to be broke. We're going to be alone. We're going to ignore all of our internal feelings and signals, and we're going to succeed anyway, because that's going to give us pride. That's going to give us a sense that we are good people. I'm a dude or a woman, and I start to live life. And then I have something like a job or family responsibilities, and then I start to feel bad. I don't like it. And in a normal situation, I would change, right? I would change my circumstances. I would say, okay, I feel bad. So instead, what I'm going to do, like, what we could do is maybe I like have a change of job. Maybe I have a change of family. Maybe I set boundaries with people. Maybe I stop. I don't know if y'all have ever seen this, but one thing that I see that's really scary is a lot of families will have like one pillar. They'll have one adult usually who carries everybody else. Siblings who don't do their shit. The one adult who, like, when mom or dad gets sick are discharged from the hospital or whatever, there's like one adult who bears the default responsibility. And this
Yeah, in my family, I don't think we had that. Like even in like my branch of the family, when it came to like my mother and my siblings and me, like to a degree, I guess it was sort of like everyone just does their own thing. That's the best way I can put it. So yeah, like that one person that everyone looks to, I don't think that exists in my family. But anyway.
adult is also responsible for wrangling the siblings to do their part. It's like there's one person carrying everybody else, and the whole family gets weighed down, and this person can't do it on their own, and everyone kind of gets dragged through the mud. It just doesn't work. But if we do this, then we are abandoning. If we do this, we are weak. So this is a feeling. This is an identity. So if you look at why people stay in situations that are not ideal for them, it is because they are trying to preserve an identity. And we can see it right here, right? It's called being a man. This is an identity statement. So this is what happens. I don't know if this is going to make sense.
So for me, it wasn't more about preserving an identity, I guess, but it was more about like, I guess, chasing success at the time, like I did when I watched this video. I think it was uploaded 8 months ago from the time of this recording. Like at the time, it was just being successful and trying to find my own way in a sense, and just being my own person, like just trying to find that independence. It wasn't more about maintaining an identity, but rather creating one.
We have this kind of like idea of who we want to be. And if I feel weak, and if I feel tired, and if I feel like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to take all those feelings. I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be a stronger person. I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be the person that people can rely on. I'm going to be better than that. I'm not going to be weak. I'm not going to change my college degree. I'm actually going to go to graduate school. And I turn this negative into a positive. And it's because of the preservation of this identity. This is the person that I want to become. I'm going to be that person. The problem is, as we become that person, there are a couple of scary prices that we pay. The first price that we pay is psychic amputation. We take all of those.
So the whole thing of trying to be a certain person, like I said, for me, it was more about chasing an identity, like trying to become something rather than maintaining it. And I guess you could even say, even till today, like I'm still struggling with that. Like there's still something in me where I need to be something. I need to be this person, especially now, like at the point that I'm in currently in life, that rings true even more. But I've been at this for, I don't know how long now. So yeah, like I said. Now, addressing the comment that I mentioned on this video, you will notice that I'm actually using a different account on this. Like the account that I'm posting these videos on right now is, I guess it's a new account that I just created, but besides the point, the comment is under G Noble A, and I wrote that watching Dr. K because you can't afford real therapy. And the surprising thing about this is that I got 112 responses. Some of those were mine, but it got to a point where I stopped responding to them because like it was a lot. And it's just a lot of people, you know, going through a lot of, I guess, mental health issues, and they don't even know, or rather, if they do know how to deal with them or handle them, they don't have like access to, I guess, resources, you know, like therapy or things of that nature because of mainly just, I guess, money. I mean, that's what most people say here. And most of them tend to be from the USA, which I know that the US medical system, a lot of people complain about how expensive it is. But yeah, I mean, like, for example, there's this comment by a user called Coffeeman911 where he says, imagine being mentally effed up because of lack of money ruins everything and you need to pay insane amounts for help. Like that is, I guess it's the society that we live in, dude. I mean, it's insane, right? And, you know, I can keep going, but I feel like if I were to read all of these comments, you know, like this video would be so long. And it's just a lot of people like going through it, man. And it's kind of sad to see actually. Like, I know it's like I kind of maybe like chuckle about it or laugh about it, But yeah, it's really sad that this is where we are, where it's like a lot of people now have to rely to sources like Dr. K for therapy for things that they might go through, which is, again, I think I mentioned that, watching Dr. K isn't like a substitute for real therapy, but I guess in a sense, maybe it does help people. I mean, it definitely helps me to some degree. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's the point that I wanted to make in this video. But anyway, I'm just gonna call it here, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Also, this channel is fairly new and I have no subscribers. So yeah, please like, subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed it. Like I said, I have no subscribers, so maybe you can be the first. And thanks for watching.